What is client-side global server load balancing? Client-side global server load balancing, in short GSLB, is an improved version of the traditional server-side GSLB. The client-side load balancer can use a composite DNS metric to provide the client important information about the servers available to him. This information allows the client himself, rather than a traditional remote GSLB server, to make the final decision which server, represented by IP address in a DNS response, is best for him. How does client-side global server load balancing work? Most client-side load balancers use legacy round-robin, weighted round-robin, and random methods. These methods are adequate and have been proven to work, but they do not take into account some of the important parameters in the load balancing process. To achieve the best possible results, modern and advanced client-side global server load balancers use a new and dynamic server selection process with three crucial parameters that are supplied to the client via the standard DNS infrastructure. Topological network distance between the client and the server, measured by the client as a round-trip time value for all IP addresses. Service response time of the server. And current server load, CPU and/or memory load. Why are these three parameters used? Each client has a unique network distance to each particular server. The response time of the service changes over time. Server load is not constant. How does the client decide which server is optimal? The client calculates the composite DNS metric for each server based on the measured and delivered server parameters like service response time and server load and decides for himself which server is optimal for him. During the measurements, the availability of the servers is checked by the client and the network distance is precisely determined. Therefore, the client can always select the server that is available and optimal for him. What are the advantages of client-side global server load balancing? Optimal server selection process by using measured network distance between client and servers and not approximated with geolocation. Instant failover through real-time server availability checks. No single point of failure. No need for apps to perform an additional DNS lookup. Layer 7 independence that provides clients with better DDoS protection, improved security, and user privacy. Lower total cost of ownership by reducing the need for server load balancers and optimizing server utilization. DynConD has developed the first commercial Layer 3 and 4 client-side global server load balancer in the world. The client-side GSLB service presents a substantial improvement over the traditional server-side method and can be tested for free on DynConD's user portal. After logging in, new users will be able to register a hostname and add their fully qualified domain names and servers. Upon adding all their servers, users will find a wide array of configurable options for their servers, such as the option of using DynConD's proprietary agentless service for service response time measurement. Users will also be able to fully configure and tweak the server load parameters that suit their needs. To see all their servers in action, the users can navigate to the Server Graph section of the portal where they can select a fully qualified domain name, a named server, server IP and choose from various time periods to see past information about the service response time and server load which can give them valuable performance insight. Server real-time status is also readily available on the portal where users can select a fully qualified domain name and see the current service response time and load parameter for each available name server. In addition to all that, DynConD has also developed an iOS and Android app that shows real-time parameters, and here in the iOS app, we compare the results of the DynConD Get Address Info with the iOS native Get Address Info. After selecting a predefined hostname and a quick resolve, we get insight into all the important parameters and detailed data for the resolved hostname returned by the DynConD Get Address Info function and sorted by the dynamic server selection composite DNS metric. We can also see a noticeable difference in the number and order of available IP addresses in function results comparison. The same applies to the Android version of the app, where the Android native init address and DynConD init address function results are compared, and in the Android version, we can also notice different results after the resolving. IPv6 protocol is supported in addition to the standard IPv4 protocol. Considering the quality of service, level of insight of the whole server infrastructure, and ease of implementation, DynConD's DNS-based client-side GSLB service is surely becoming the optimal solution for any company that is hosting their application in multiple different data centers.